Welcome to another Boomer Babes Life travel episode. My name is Jaynie Morris-Riggs, founder and creator of fun at Boomer Babes Life, our global community for women over 50. I'm really excited about today's travel podcast because, as you know, usually we have the gorgeous Krista with us talking all things travel, destinations, things to do, places to go, things to see, and all the other information that you always need to be updated on in regards to travel. This podcast is a little bit different. And the reason that it is we at Boomer Babes Life have recently partnered to be one of the sponsors of a new movie that is being released in 2 weeks on the 16th of October in Australia and New Zealand. Now, the reason we're doing this on our travel podcast is that this movie is an incredible true story about a young woman, and it's called Maiden. The movie is called Maiden, Maiden. And because it's a sailing movie, we thought it'd be really good to number one, let you know all about this movie. Number two, to let you know where it's going to be. And also, because we are the sponsors for Australia and New Zealand, we've also got a connection to this movie that I'm going to tell you about at the end of this podcast. So let me tell you all about this movie. Maiden is the inspirational story of how Tracy Edwards, a 24-year-old cook on charter boats, that's what she used to do. She became the skipper of the first ever all-female crew to enter the Whitbread Round the World race in 1989. Now, for those of you who love sailing, even those of you who love cruising, if you haven't heard the Whitbread Round the World race before, please Google it. It's an incredible race that takes on the most adventurous sailors, men and women, and younger people, older people, seasoned sailors, and it's always fabulous every time it happens to follow it by Google and follow it on the internet, because it's an incredible adventure race. So that's the Whitbread Round the World race. Now, this one we're talking about with this movie, this was in 1989. Now, Tracy's dream was opposed on all sides. Her male competitors thought an all-woman crew would never make it. The chauvinistic yachting press took bets. They actually took bets on her failure. And potential sponsors actually rejected her, fearing they would die, she and the crew would actually die at sea and generate bad publicity. Isn't that incredible to understand that as well? It's incredible. So there was no support, no belief at all in what Tracy and her all-woman crew at the young age of 24 were about to embark on. But Tracy refused to give up. She actually remortgaged her home and bought a second-hand boat. Now think about it, a second-hand boat to go around the world. Putting everything on the line, she absolutely did that to ensure that her team made it to the start line. Now, with the support of her remarkable crew, she went on to shock the sport, the sailing industry, and all the naysayers and prove that women are the equal of men. It's an absolutely inspirational, exciting movie. It's already had rave reviews from the movie industry who've seen the previews of it. I've seen the movie, the preview, obviously, and I can say I'm going to see it again and again and again. There are so many incredible little gems in this movie. Now, the movie, as I said, the actual Australia-New Zealand launch is on the 16th of October. And in South Australia, the big premiere is on at the Marion Cinemas. All the details will be below this podcast. But here's the thing I wanted to let you know. If your interest has been piqued by what I've just told you, if by going through the link that you feel that this is something you would love to see, to take your family and your friends to go and all be inspired and have a really good feel good movie to go and see, then when you do book your tickets, please put into in the tickets, if you're going anywhere around Australia and New Zealand, in the code when you go to book your tickets, please put Love Your Sister. Now, the code is below this podcast. Please check out that code. When you put that code into your booking, what that will mean is that a percentage of your ticket is actually going to go to the BoomerBabesLife partner charity that we have with Love Your Sister, which is Samuel Johnson, the Aussie larrikin actor's charity that he set up with his beautiful sister Connie, who unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago from cancer. But this charity, Love Your Sister, is doing amazing work. The initial goal was to raise $10 million. That goal was reached 5 weeks ago, and now Samuel's on the trek for the next $10 million. And of course, for those of you who know and support Boomer Babes Life, you know that we support Love Your Sister. All of our fundraising goes to Love Your Sister. So when you buy your tickets for this fabulous movie, Maiden, please put the code Love Your Sister in at the checkout, and that means that part of your ticket price will actually go to Love Your Sister. So lots of great feel goods about this movie. It's called Maiden. It's the inspirational true story of how Tracy Edwards, that 24-year-old cook on charter boats, actually became a skipper of the first all-female crew to enter the Whitbread Round the World race. It's all about travel. It's part of travel, and that's why we decided to tell you all about it today on this episode of Boomer Babes Life Travel. So if you like this, if you've missed any of our episodes, of course, remember to subscribe, whatever podcast streaming device that you're listening to this podcast on right now. Like this podcast, share the podcast, subscribe to this podcast, and of course you can catch up on everything over at BoomerBabesLife.com. And we'd love you to be a member as well. Check out everything that we've got there for you. But in the meantime, have an absolutely fabulous day, and we look forward to seeing you at the Australian New Zealand screenings, the world premiere of Maiden.